Hey folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host, Louis Carlin. We're heard right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you so much for joining me again today. If you're watching for the first time, if it's your first visit to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter at Shooting Up North. I am on Instagram at Alliance PW Network, or you could follow me, or you could join, you could join our Facebook group, the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Okay, so a few days ago, WWE superstar Cesaro decided to leave the WWE, not happy with the WWE. So I'm going to read a little bit here from Fightful. It says there were plans to use Cesaro on upcoming shows, but that was no longer the case. We were told that at the time of the departure, there had been no long-term creative plans for Cesaro, and that unless a new deal was reached, that would remain the case. Cesaro had lost his last 7 televised matches, dated all the way back to November, and we're told that there was no indication that he was going to resign and therefore no incentive to push him accordingly. WWE confirmed to Fightful that Cesaro was on a 1-year extension, and as a result of it expiring, there is no non-compete clause. So Cesaro, not happy with his booking, had no desire to re-sign with the WWE, is a free agent right now with no non-compete clause. So my question is, when is Impact Wrestling going to open up the vault to bring Cesaro in? Okay, Cesaro not happy with his booking. I know people are out there saying, I know. A day after he was released, uh, people are saying AEW is going to make him an offer. And a day after his release, there were reports going, AEW has not made Cesaro an offer yet. Okay, if he's not happy with the way he's being booked in the WWE, and he said I was reading other articles, money's not the most important thing to him right now. That I was reading that. Whether that's true or not, I'm not sure, but that's what I read. They said it's not just about the money. Okay, if he wants to go to AEW and sign for big money, go to Tony Khan, but he's not happy with the way he's being booked in the WWE. He's not going to be happy the way he's going to be getting booked in the AEW. Because what's going to happen is Tony Khan is going to hype a big surprise. It's going to be like the 30,000th big surprise announced by Tony. He's a big surprise coming this Wednesday. Tune in. You're not going to want to miss this. You're not going to want to miss. And then Cesaro will debut, and the crowd will pop, and then you won't see him for like 4 or 5 weeks. And then he's going to sit around, and then you'll see him in a match, maybe against Daniel Garcia or something, and then you won't see him again for a few. So it's not going to be happy with the booking in AEW, but Impact Wrestling. He goes to Impact Wrestling. Suddenly, he's the top guy, or one of the top guys immediately, and he gets booked. He's on every week, and you could put him in there against Moose. You could have him come in, Moose make a challenge, have him come in and challenge Moose for the Impact Wrestling World Title. Josh Alexander, when Josh Alexander comes back, Cesaro against Josh Alexander. That's a classic right there. That'll be a classic without a doubt. You have Eddie Edwards, you have Rich Swann, you have W. Morrissey, you have Jonah. If Jonah signs an extension, you have the whole Honor No More group that are there. Of course, Cesaro has a history with Ring of Honor, Kings of Wrestling with Chris Hero. So he has some history with Ring of Honor. Whether he'll join Honor No More, I'm not sure. But you got the whole Honor No More group there. You get some decent match there. Eric Young, you got the Good Brothers. You have New Japan Pro Wrestling's Jay White. So if Cesaro came to Impact Wrestling, I think he would be quite happy with the way he would get booked, because he would be booked and pushed to the max without a doubt. And I could see him being the Impact Wrestling World Champion, being the top guy, holding the top belt, main eventing all the top shows for Impact Wrestling. He would be the man. In Impact Wrestling. So, and this is an opportunity right now for Impact Wrestling to make a splash. Because right now, like I said, everyone is saying Tony Khan's going to sign Cesaro, and Cesaro's going to come into AEW. This is Impact Wrestling's chance to make a splash, right? To make a big free agent splash. There was so many rumors out there in the past. We thought EC3 was coming in. We thought, why is his name escaping me right now? the tight what's that Adam Scher, sorry, Adam Scher was coming in. We thought Bray Wyatt was coming in, but that didn't happen. Everyone rumored that Buddy Murphy was coming in. I thought Buddy Murphy was coming in. I talked about how Buddy Murphy was coming in, and it didn't happen. So this is Impact Wrestling's opportunity right now. This is Impact Wrestling's opportunity right now to make a huge free agent splash. Okay, and there's no non-compete clause. They could sign him today, and he could debut. He could debut next week. I know I was speaking with somebody on Facebook. I forgot who it was, and he mentioned this person mentioned. Oh my gosh, I forgot who it was, but he had mentioned. Do you think? I think his name was Andrew. Andrew. I don't want to give away his whole, but my friend on Facebook, Andrew, asked me if he thought that Cesaro could debut at Sacrifice, and I said not a chance. I said 0% chance, and he was adamant. He said, "No, there's it's unlikely, but there's a chance." And at first I didn't think there was, but I thought about it and thought about it, and if they do sign Cesaro, there's a chance he could debut a Sacrifice. It's highly unlikely, of course, but as I said to him, there's a 0% chance, but there's not a 0% chance. There's always a chance. So I apologize, Andrew, on that. But back to that, they should open the vault. And again, Cesaro said money is. I think it's even says it right here that money is. Let me see. Does it say here? I know I read it somewhere where he said it's not just about money. Okay, I must have read it somewhere else. But they could offer Impact Wrestling could offer him a big time contract to bring him in for like 2 or 3 years. I think Cesaro's 41 years old, and he'll still be able to work the independent scene. And I think I was reading that there's a desire for him to go back to the independent scene as well. I think it'll be a perfect fit. I think it'll be a great fit, and there'll be a lot of great matchups. I went down the list of a couple of names that would give there'll be great matchups for Cesaro. But more importantly, this would be a perfect opportunity for Impact Wrestling to stick it to Tony Khan. To stick it to Tony Khan, because Tony Khan thinks Tony Khan thinks he's a big shot, and he's going to sign everybody. But this is Impact's chance to stick it to Tony Khan and say, "Hey, look, you're not the only team in town. Okay, this Impact Wrestling also. We're looking to grow. We're looking to get better. We're looking to improve because our last couple of shows have been absolutely fantastic. They've blown AEW shows away." In my opinion, of course. But the last 2 or 3 shows have been just fantastic by Impact Wrestling, and they're just getting better. And I do think Josh Alexander is coming back. And I'm thinking Josh Alexander versus Cesaro would be just a fantastic, fantastic match. Just an absolute pure classic. Pure classic. So I think this is the opportunity right now for Impact Wrestling. And they could even if Cesaro says no, but get out there, make him a damn good offer. The Good Brothers could get involved. The Good Brothers could get into Cesaro's ear, and they could talk to him. They could convince him to come to Impact Wrestling. Deonna Purrazzo could convince him that Impact Wrestling is a great place. Mickey James could convince him. You could have Moose can give him a call. Eddie Edwards convince him that Impact Wrestling is a great place to be. Great place to be. We have great talent. We're putting on killer shows, and you will love the booking. You will love the way Impact Wrestling books you here, because you will be a top star and you will get pushed. Scott D'Amore should get on the phone and say, "Cesaro, you will be pushed immediately from the start." Immediately from the start. I mean, he could go to AEW, but he's not going to get pushed. Maybe we'll see him confront Bryan Danielson, or maybe we'll see him confront CM Punk. But then where does he go from there, right? He's not going to get pushed. There's so much talent right now in AEW. Tony Khan just bringing people in left and right. Every week with Tony Khan is there's a big announcement. There's a big surprise. I got a big, don't forget to tune in. There's a big surprise this week. And when ratings go down, ratings are down. Guess what? Guess what, guys? The big surprise coming next week. You're not going to want a huge announcement that's going to change the landscape of professional wrestling next week. So you're not going to want to miss that. How many people can he bring in? I mean, he's brought in like 4 or 5 guys over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and he can't use everybody. So if Cesaro wasn't happy with the way he was booked in WWE, and which caused him to leave. I don't think he's going to be happy with the way he gets booked in AEW. Even Brian Danielson said that AEW is not perfect, right? He said it's not perfect. And he wasn't. He stopped short on complaining about AEW, but I don't just he just won't get booked. He won't get booked the way he get booked at Impact Wrestling. So that's why I think Scott D'Amore, Anthem, they should open up the vaults, start handing out, start giving big contracts out, start bringing in some top guys. Let's start with Cesaro. He's amazing talent. I'm not a fan of the WWE. I'd seen a couple of Cesaro matches. I remember him prior to him going to the WWE. Incredible talent. Would fit in perfectly with Impact Wrestling. Right off the bat, we'd get Moose defending the Impact Wrestling World title against Cesaro. Right off the bat, we'd have Cesaro confronting W. Morrissey. Right off the bat, when Josh Alexander comes back. Or what if Chris Hero joined him in Impact Wrestling and Cesaro and Chris Hero? I know he's not going to be Cesaro. I have trouble pronouncing his other. Claudio Castagnoli, I think it is what he would go on. I always mess up his last name. That's why I'm a little reluctant to say it. So, but he could bring Chris Hero in, and they could reform the Kings of Wrestling, and they could challenge the Good Brothers for the tag team titles. That's another possibility as well. Reform the Kings of Wrestling and Impact Wrestling. Kings of Wrestling, a former Ring of Honor legendary tag team, and bring them back. That would be great too. What if Jay White, New Japan Pro Wrestling's Jay White, goes 1-on-1 with Cesaro? That'd be pure fire, man. So this is the opportunity. Don't let Tony Khan get every single free agent out there. Show Tony Khan that he's not the only one with deep pockets. Right? Impact Wrestling, Anthem, they have money, right? They could afford top guys. And now he's saying, okay, but how come they let Rohit Raju go? Well, they made him an offer. I don't know what the numbers were involved. They made him an offer. Rohit Raju thought he was worth more. Impact didn't think that he was worth the number that he was giving them. So that's business. That's business. Okay. I'm sure if Impact Wrestling thought Rohit Raju was worth the money. Personally, I think, I don't know the numbers, but Rohit Raju, great talent. I'm not speaking negatively about Rohit Raju right now, but I'm saying if Impact Wrestling, if on their business end thought that Rohit Raju was deserving of the number that he was giving them, they could have paid it easily. They could have paid it without it. Again, not speaking negatively about Rohit Raju, phenomenal talent. They could afford him. They could afford Cesaro. If Chris Jericho becomes a free agent and he wants big money, they could afford Cody Rhodes. If Cody Rhodes asks for a number, they could pay Cody Rhodes money and bring him in. So this is the opportunity right now. The opportunity is now. Impact Wrestling is getting better and better and better. The matches that they're delivering to the fans are just fantastic. Fantastic matches. Now is the opportunity. There's no non-compete clause. Do what you can. Start with Cesaro and then work from there. Again, show Tony Khan, prove to Tony Khan that he's not the only one that's trying to bring in big free agents. He's not the only one that's got money to throw around. Now is the time, Impact Wrestling. Let's start with Cesaro. Okay, I'm getting emotional right now. I just love Impact Wrestling, man. But we're going to stop it at that for now. Anything else breaks, I'm watching the news. And until then, I'll be back. But take care, everybody. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. And stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.